I just want to take a couple minutes to cover the basic material I have here, or equipment that I have for brewing. This is my shed outside in my backyard, and I have a little bit of pottery equipment in here and all of my beer equipment. So as you can see, I'm using a grain father for my mash tun and for my boil kettle, and it is controllable by either a manual mode, or you can use your iPhone with an app to control it, so that it becomes basically an automatic process. And then this is my water heater for my sparge water and my mash out water. And I use an ink bird there, where I can set the sparge temperature water, and it will turn it on and off and hold it at that temperature, and then I can raise the temperature for my mash out if I want to take it up a bit higher. So those are the two basic pieces of equipment. And the grain father has a liftable bucket in it that can be used as your mash tun bucket, and then it can be removed, and a boiling of your wort can then occur with your hops. So that's the basic setup, and I want to show you a little bit more about how I've rigged up a system where I can lift my grains out once they're very heavy, as you know, without breaking my back, and then also raise my 5-gallon carboys, and I use water that's been adjusted for the style of beer I'm making, where I can raise those up and siphon the water from those into these two vessels, so I don't have to lift that 5 gallons. And I get those back here with my dolly, so very little lifting at this point in my brew process. So now I want to show you my lifting mechanism. This is a cable pulley system that I developed. Well, actually, I'll have to give the credits to a friend of mine in California who first introduced me to a similar method, where he used an old rigging system for a sailboat that was on a slide, and he could pick up his carnies, move it up, and then slide it over and put it down in his freezer that he was using as a lagering device. So basically it works in that it's a 7-to-1 ratio. You can lift the inside container that contains your spent grains up, and in this mechanism it has little feet, and you can turn it around and bring it back down on the brackets on the inside. And then with your sparge water here, you can sparge a couple quarts at a time into your bucket and allow that to sparge through into your boil pot. So very simple mechanism, and I use that for raising and lowering my spent grains. So that's a very simple system, but it works very, very well. As you can see, this is utilizing my pulley system to raise my 5-gallon jugs of water up high enough that I can siphon that water off into my brew pot and my mash tun boiler in order not to have to lift these heavy bottles. So you can see it at this point seems to work real well for its intended purpose. This is my air conditioner that runs my chiller unit, where I have placed the chiller coil from the window air conditioner into the ice chest with glycol solution. That in turn pumps up into the chilling coil that is in my conical chiller, and I am able to keep my lager temperatures down around 49 to 56 degrees. And then this also has the ability of racking the beer through the upper port into a Cornelius keg by using CO2 to push the brew out of the conical brewer, so I never have to expose it to air. And seems to work very, very well. I'm able to dump the tube after the first week, and then again keep the brew at a chill temperature that's desired for the type brew I'm making, and then 2 or 3 weeks later rack it into the Cornelius keg.